Okay, the trade deadline is finally come to an end, and it was an absolutely insane deadline, maybe the craziest trade deadline in NBA history. We saw nothing but big names getting shipped out. About half the league got traded, it felt like. I mean, everybody was making moves, all trying to jockey themselves into a future position or a position this year to go make a championship run. Absolutely crazy stuff. I'm going to go through, try and break down all these trades, give some opinions on them. But the first one that kicked this bad boy off was Kyrie Irving looking for a trade last week. He gets shipped out from the Nets to the Dallas Mavericks, and that threw everything up in the air. What was the future of the Nets going to look like? Are they going to hang on to Kevin Durant, or are they going to completely blow this thing up? And they chose to blow it up. The worst failed experiment in the history of super teams, the Kyrie Durant Harden super team, amounts to nothing. It's kind of crazy how Kevin Durant being on the three-point line 2 years ago in the playoffs changed the entire course of NBA history. I mean, he makes that shot, they win that game, Bucks go home, Bucks don't win the title, maybe the Nets win the title. I mean, it just changes everything. Now the Nets are holding a whole bunch of picks, a whole bunch of role players and 3-and-D guys, and absolutely no future. But so Kyrie goes to the Mavericks. The Suns make the move for Kevin Durant. They gave up 4 first-round picks. They gave up a bunch of players. They gave up Jay Crowder. I know who else? Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson. So a nice haul for the Nets coming back. But really, is that the value for Durant? I feel like you could have held on to him this year and gotten a whole hell of a lot more from him next year. I mean, he's under contract for 3 years. So now you say, why would you send him to the team that wants him? Because the Suns were linked to him. But it's like, because teams who know a guy wants him are willing to give up more. But I'm not sure they couldn't have got more in the offseason, and Durant wouldn't have picked another spot where he likes. But again, this goes to Kevin Durant. Horrible leader, cannot lead a team, does not elevate teammates. He just wants to be a guy where everybody else is responsible for the hard part of basketball, and he can just sit and shoot the basketball, play video games, start fight on Twitter. So Suns are a legitimate NBA championship team now. They're probably the best team in the West. It's a very wide open West. I mean, if we look at these standings, I mean, the Nuggets currently lead. They got a 4.5 game lead. Going to be hard to chip away to that. The Nuggets are a really solid team. But does anybody fear Nikola Jokic in the playoffs? No, not really. I mean, Memphis, Ja really started all this. Ja was talking shit last week that said he's good in the West. Well, son, life comes at you fast. Sacramento, nobody believes. These are the two big ones right here, the Mavericks and the Suns. Oh, man, these two teams already hate each other. We need to get this postseason matchup post-haste. Luka and Devin Booker cannot stand each other. Nobody likes Chris Paul. And now you add Kyrie to the Mavs, Durant to the Suns. It just adds for all the juicy drama. I'm all here for it. But after that fell, I mean, there were so many crazy trades. Westbrook gets shipped out of LA. He's heading to Utah, most likely getting bought out. Maybe he stays in LA, goes back to the Clippers. The Lakers bring in a lot of good pieces today. I was actually really impressed with the Lakers, dude. They got rid of Westbrook. He was a cancer. They got rid of quite a few other guys. But let's just run through these trades here. Jay Crowder heading to Milwaukee after getting dealt in the Durant deal. So that's a big pickup for Milwaukee. Adds a lot. Nets got 5 second-round picks. Pacers got Serge Ibaka, Jordan Norway, George Hill, and a second-round pick. They were eating that $4 million contract with George Hill. Lakers sent Thomas Bryant to the Nuggets. Bryant's a nice ad for the Nuggets. They needed a little bit of juice. He gave the Lakers some juice, but the Lakers were clearing out cap, I think, for the other moves that they made today. Thibault heading to the Trailblazers in a 3-team deal. Sixers get Jalen McDaniels. That's a big ad for the Sixers. I really like that ad for the Sixers a whole lot. Fits in really well with what they're doing. Hornets get Sivi Mahulik that they got from the Knicks. Get a couple of second-round picks, 2024, 2029. That was the big thing today. Second-round picks were getting tossed around like candy. Nobody gives a shit about second-round picks anymore. It was absolutely hilarious. I think we saw 5 second-round picks shipped out in a deal earlier. What's this deal? That's the West. Talking about Westbrook. I don't get this one. The Nuggets got rid of Bones Hyland and sent him to the Clippers for 2 second-round picks. I mean, the Nuggets are in win-now mode, man. Can't be getting rid of people for picks, you know. They didn't turn those picks into anything. Don't get that one. The Warriors, kind of a shocker, send away James Wiseman. He was the 2nd overall pick. I think just 3 years ago, they get 5 second round picks in return. There you go. There was your 5 second round picks I was talking about. Crazy stuff. Sadiq Bey heading to the Hawks. That's the Hawks are so weird, man. I just don't get this Hawks team. They made that trade for DeJounte Murray in the offseason, and it's really not turned into anything. Trae Young hates the head coach. They're kind of all over the place, so I don't know what that's going to do to them. The Clippers were super active today. This was the funniest one. The Clippers got Eric Gordon from the Rockets. Luke Kennard headed to the Grizzlies, and then John Wall and Danny Green headed to Houston. John Wall just talked shit about the Rockets organization like last month.
When you got traded to the Rockets, talk about the Rockets experience.
Trash.
I already know.
I know.
Beyond trash. Like,
absolutely hilarious. Danny Green's missed most of the season with an ACL injury from a year plus now. He missed all of last year also. And the Rockets got a first-round swap rights, which the Rockets are all about collecting picks, man. They're on the rebuild. Poor Pat Bev, getting sent away from the Lakers to Orlando for Mo Bamba. I like this move. This was a nice pickup for the Lakers. They're stretching out the floor. They're trying to clear out the lane. They got rid of a bunch of guys who don't shoot threes for guys that are more likely to space it out, hit the three. So I like that move a lot. Pat Bev probably going to get bought out in Orlando. They're kind of 50-50. But you got to love this. After the Lakers got D'Angelo Russell last night, Pat Bev says the gang is back together, and then he gets traded. So he was hyped for getting D'Angelo back, the gang back. They were teammates in Minnesota, but he gets shipped back out to Orlando, which I like Orlando. They're a nice young team, but really, really interesting stuff. This doesn't even go through all of us. We're going to have to go through all the Woj bombs over here, I guess. It was a wild day. Just look at all this stuff. Hours. This is like the last 3 hours of the day. Absolutely crazy stuff. Okay, rounding out the day, Pistons sending Kevin Knox to the Warriors. Multiple team deal that brought them James Wiseman. Pistons collecting a lot of young pieces here. Hornets sent Mason Plumlee to the Clippers. Clippers, like I said, super active. Clippers sending Reggie Jackson to Charlotte in return. Blazers, this was the late one that was nice. Sending Gary Payton back to the Warriors for 5 second-round picks. So essentially, it was Payton for Wiseman through other means. That's a huge pickup for the Warriors. Payton was huge for them in that championship run last year. And as Woj says, they saved roughly $7 million in luxury tax. Other moves this week, there were some talks. A lot of teams stayed put. The Raptors tested the market. They were looking to be sellers possibly. Ended up adding Jakob Poeltl from the Spurs. So didn't sell, they bought. But possibly selling this offseason. They're struggling big. Who else? Josh Hart heading to New York with Jalen Brunson. They send Cam Reddish to Portland, so Portland was pretty active. But Dame Lillard's still there. I just don't get what this Trailblazers team is doing. But a lot of interesting stuff. We went through the West, the East, Celtics on top, Milwaukee right there, Sixers, Cavs, Brooklyn. They're going to fall off a cliff. I don't know if they're going to stay in the playoffs. So lots of movement to be made. I get why the Raptors sitting in that 10 spot would be buyers. Most of these teams are in complete rebuild in the East, so they could get in here. We don't know how far Brooklyn's going to fall off, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What was the biggest trade from today? How big of an impact is Kevin Durant on the Suns? Are they going to make it to the championship? Are they going to win the whole damn thing? Let me know what your favorite move was. What was a terrible move? Again, like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share this video with your friends, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.